That thing you just threw away. You probably don't even remember what it was. A wrapper, a container, a leftover crust of bread. A small, forgettable act. A ghost in your day. But what if I told you that this simple, thoughtless moment, this creation of trash, is one of the most primitive things we do? We tell ourselves we're advanced, we have recycling bins and sustainability goals, but we are a society drowning in our own leftovers. Our ancestors, whom we imagine as simple and crude, would look at our world not with envy, but with a kind of profound confusion. Because for 99% of human history, the concept of trash didn't exist. This isn't a story about recycling. It's about a lost mindset, a way of seeing the world so completely, so ingeniously, that it makes our modern way of life look dangerously fragile. Today, we're going to journey back to the world of the ultimate circular economy. Not one designed in a boardroom, but one forged by the unforgiving laws of reality. And in doing so, we're going to hold up a mirror to our own modern arrogance. What we find might just change your relationship with everything you own. Forget the cliches of brutish cavemen. To survive in this world was to be a master of systems thinking. Every single day was a high-stakes lesson in physics, biology, and engineering. And at the heart of it all was one unbreakable rule: nothing is wasted. Let's follow the life of this one animal. In our world, its story would end at the supermarket, wrapped in plastic, a sterile transaction devoid of meaning. Here, its story is just beginning. It's not just meat, it's a dense package of life-sustaining energy, and to waste a single gram of it would be to waste the calories burned in the hunt, the risk taken, the deep knowledge of the land that led to this moment. The flesh, of course, provides immediate sustenance, cooked over a carefully tended fire. But the concept of leftovers is a foreign one. What isn't eaten is immediately prepared for the future, sliced thin and smoked over the fire or dried in the wind, becoming tough, protein-rich jerky that can last for months. The fat is meticulously rendered down, not discarded. It becomes a high-energy food source, a waterproofing agent for leather, and even fuel for a primitive lamp, its soft light pushing back the darkness. The hide is a gift of warmth and protection. It's painstakingly scraped clean, then tanned using the animal's own brain, a perfect emulsifier that softens the stiff skin. It's a grueling, physical process of stretching, rubbing, and smoking that transforms a raw pelt into supple, durable buckskin. This becomes clothing that shields from the wind, the cover for a shelter that keeps out the rain, a bag to carry tools, or a vessel to hold water. The skeleton is a complete toolkit waiting to be unlocked. The large, heavy leg bones are shattered to access the nutrient-rich marrow inside, and the fragments themselves become percussive tools or scrapers. A shoulder blade, with its broad, flat surface, becomes a digging tool, a prehistoric shovel. The smaller, more delicate bones are patiently ground against rough stone, shaped into sharp awls for piercing leather and fine needles for sewing. The antlers become billets and pressure flakers, essential for the precise, delicate work of shaping razor-sharp flint spearheads. And running along the spine, the sinew, the very fiber that gave the animal its strength and life, is carefully separated, dried, and pounded into the strongest thread imaginable. It is the cordage that lashes the stone point to the spear shaft, the bowstring that will launch the next arrow, the thread that stitches the hide tunic together. This wasn't an ethical choice. It wasn't a prehistoric green movement. It was a law of physics, a deep understanding of a world where nothing truly disappears. It was a closed loop, elegant and brutal in its efficiency. Every end was a new beginning. The animal's life ends, and from its single existence flows clothing, tools, shelter, and the energy to continue the cycle. This is the integrated approach to life, the profound and practical wisdom that we have lost. And this is our system. We call it convenience. We call it progress. But from an ancestral perspective, it is pure insanity. We drill oil from the ground, spend enormous energy to shape it into a fork that we use for 10 minutes, and then we spend even more energy to bury it back in the ground. And it creates a quiet anxiety in us, doesn't it? That feeling you get when you look at the pile of Amazon boxes by your door, that vague guilt when you throw away food you forgot to eat. We are, as author Mark Hawkins calls us, mismatched humans. Our brains and bodies evolved for a world of resourcefulness, but we live in a world of disposability. And this mismatch creates a deep internal friction. Our ancestors' survival depended on their ability to see the hidden potential in everything. Our survival seems to depend on our ability to ignore the consequences of everything. We've traded the robust resilience of knowing how to make and repair things for the fragile convenience of being able to buy them. This is the uncomfortable truth. Our system isn't advanced. It's just bloated and deeply, deeply primitive in its lack of foresight. So what happens when the system breaks? In our world, a broken object is a failure. It's trash. We throw it away and buy a new one. But in a world without trash, a broken tool is not an end. It is a transformation. This is the key. This is the mindset we need to reclaim. It's not about learning to nap flint. It's about learning to see a broken thing not for what it was, but for what it can become. This isn't just about physical objects. It's a philosophy for life. This way of thinking doesn't require you to live in the wilderness. It only requires you to challenge the single most wasteful idea of the modern world, the idea of an end. In nature, there are no ends, only transformations. This was the wisdom our ancestors lived by every single day. They had to. We have the luxury of forgetting. We live in a world that screams at us to consume, to replace, to upgrade. It has made us powerful as consumers, but fragile as individuals. We've forgotten the deep, quiet satisfaction of making something last, of repairing what is broken, of seeing the world as a web of potential rather than a pile of products. The ancient zero-waste philosophy isn't about deprivation. It's about ingenuity. It's about a deeper, more intimate connection to the physical world. It's about seeing true wealth not in what you can afford to throw away, but in what you have the wisdom to keep. So the next time you stand here, over this portal to the landfill, I want you to pause, just for a second. And don't just ask yourself, can this be recycled? Ask the question our ancestors lived by, the question that built the human world. What is its next life? I'm genuinely curious to hear what you think. What's one thing you might look at differently after this? Let me know in the comments below. If this message resonated with you, liking the video and subscribing to the channel helps us continue exploring these ideas together. Share it with someone who might need this perspective. Thanks for watching.